All right, guys, let's start the video. I don't feel like doing my normal intro. Just feel like smacking y'all real quick. All right. Anyway, listen, you guys are looking at the title of the video. You're looking at the thumbnail. So let's get active. All right. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but I'm sure it'll be something good. Anyway, guys, a lot of times on my channel, I get a lot of folks that come over and maybe it's like their first, second, third time looking at content like this from men speaking to men to help men out. And there's some that come over here and both male and females, and they get it. And they either just watch, they leave the space alone, they leave the comment section alone, and they watch and they also learn as well. But there's others that come over here with this, you know, who hurt you, who come over here with these shaming tactics. We already know what we do with those. We just stoic our way through them. But I do think to a degree, some of them deserve some answers just to answer some questions. And a lot of the questions that I get it is in and around this: who hurt you? Or why do some men become dogs and treat women like shit? And a lot of the times they look at content in around this space, not so much my channel, but there's other channels that, you know, go and do what these actors will refer to as misogynistic things in order to attract women for dating, for relationships, or what have you. So therein lies a question that I wanted to make the highlight of this video today and just ask and pose out to the audience is, well, how do men become that way? Why do they look for this particular content on this portion of the internet, and why do they find it valuable? I'd argue the majority of people that come over here actually do it because of y'all. It is because of y'all. It is a response to a stimuli, dating women and getting hurt by women, as to why they change their strategies. Okay? There's a lot of us that have grown up under the guise that, and this is through looking at media, this is through looking at different movements that tell us that, you know, men are a bit inferior to women, and they don't say that specifically, but the way that they attack some of these arguments, that's the unintentional message that we are receiving, while bolstering the importance of women in society, thereby inflicting information into a young boy's mind that he is not mature or he is not a man until he has the gracious opportunity to put a woman on a pedestal and to treat her like gold and to serve her how she wants to be served. And through living life, and especially if they were raised in a single parent, single mother environment, they come across who isn't real with them. There's some single mothers that are super real because they knew who they were as a person. But anyway, but they start to go out on a path, and if they didn't hear those teachings and that tutelage, they find it out on their own. Now, you got guys like me that found it out on my own and figured it out without the internet on how I need to operate within myself and how to deal with women. But you get some that come up on the internet because they're looking for answers. They're looking for answers. Don't believe me? Well, I got a video to show to you guys today from the late, great R.I.P. King, greatest poet of the 20th century, Sir Tupac Shakur. Now, there's two clips in here, one of which is going to have to be heavily edited for cuss words, but I'll leave a link to the videos down in the description box down below. But what you're going to see is a fundamental switch and shift as young Tupac, raised by single mother Tupac, to what Tupac came out to later in his life. Let's watch.
Seen guys speak to women with this much respect, and I deplore that. My mother is just totally, I grew up, my mother raised me, so
you could already see he was a young, talented man. Deplore. Oh, that's a good word. That's a good word. All right, deplore that. All right. Now notice this thing as we go through these videos as well. Notice his body language as well. Don't just take the words and just say, oh, okay, well, yeah, he was this way at one point in his life and then he became this way. Take a look at the body language, the way that he's expressing himself. Someone said there's a lot more feminine characteristics in his body language as well. And a lot of the information that you see on the internet that directs information to men for dating is you have to be keen on the feminine characteristics that you are taking into these dating relationships, because women will not respect it. They don't. But they don't teach young men that early on in life when they're dealing with women. Okay? But I digress. Let's move on.
This much respect for women, and I fight often because of that. And it gives me a lot of friends. I mean, I get a lot of friends, but I get a lot of friends because I have respect for women, ultra respect for women. But then, like I was liking this girl in Tam, and I'm extra nice, extra gentleman. I'm extra just like, oh, you're beautiful and you deserve the best. And she told me I was too nice.
Oh,
I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
it wouldn't work because I was too nice. That was the ultimate stab in the back. So I went through a week of just going, forget it, I'm just gonna be like them. Because they seem to get the girls and they call girls the B word.
Eventually.
Wait a minute. Until we get to grown up Tupac, okay? Now what he said, I gained a lot of friends. And he was saying with these kind of like weird mannerisms we're having, I gained a lot of friends. And notice his voice as well. It's very, very high frequency as well. It's very soft. It's very gentle. And he said, I don't want to be like them. But he said, I gained a lot of friends. You gained a lot of friend zones, okay? You gained a lot of friend zones, okay? That is what he's saying. And he said, but I don't want to be like them. And it's like, his logic is like, damn, I'm seeing how the ones that I want are interacting with the dudes that my mother told me not to be like. Now listen, at the end of the day, I think there's a balance that you can strike, okay? The men that my mother told me not to be like, don't be like those, Junior, okay? Don't be like those. And looking at the women, fawn over these type of dudes. He had a logical conniption is what Tupac is highlighting. I don't want to be like them. You heard him. He don't want to be like that shit. Most of the men in the red pill sector don't want to be red pill. We do it because of y'all. That's why. There's a lot of us that would love to go back to our blue pill fantasies. White picket fence. She respects me and loves me for me, all right? She won't leave me if I lose my job. She won't. No, Jessica, she would never leave me. She would never. She said that she loves me. All right? Now, what we have here is years later, right? A multitude of women later, where Tupac is now red pill. Let's go in there.
Bitches ain't shit.
Uh-oh.
We don't love them hoes. So it's like that.
I feel as though it really ain't as big as everybody make it, Even the females know it's females don't even hang with females. You know what I'm saying? So why would they expect a to understand something they don't understand? You know what I'm saying? That's one. Two is that these is like boss. She out there handling her business. She ain't saying, why you call me bitch? She clowning, and that's what you do. That's how you show and prove. But no gonna fuck with her. If you call yourself a bitch, who can call you a bitch? You need to stop giving these all the attention. That's why niggas is dying now. When these hoes get horny, niggas die. Hoes get horny, niggas die. Watch, every time. Every funeral you go to, it's a bitch that was horny the night before. So you need to start checking these bitches, keep your dick in. Niggas need to go back to the OG penitentiary days and start jacking off. Because if you don't, you're going to end up killing each other. We're going to all die. We got to start saying, fuck these bitches, man. If you with a cool female, that's all good. But if you with a bitch, you need to break her ass and shake her ass.
Hold on. I don't mean to laugh. Jesus Christ, Tupac. I'm sure I bleeped out like half of that clip. So I'll leave a link down in the description box down below to go see who knew Tupac was this red pill. Okay, who knew? Okay, who knew? Anyway, listen. Jokes aside, outside of the the language that he is using, he is alluding to something that I think needs to be said. And what he said was at the end of that is that dudes need to go back to ignoring. And this is a large component of what I try to talk about on the channel in my own way, is that I think dudes who are coming of age and discovering their manhood, discovering their masculinity, should be focused on building themselves up to be the best human being that they can possibly be, to be all-knowing and all-encompassing and understand how business works, to understand how to create things with their hands, whether that be from a blue-collar perspective or a white-collar perspective, to understand how to leverage their masculinity to make major impact, to make this world a better place than what they grew up in or were born into, okay? And I don't think that you can do that if you don't have the decision-making capabilities in your young life to understand the good women from the bad women. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I think when we talk about this nature thing, what he's talking about, as well as I think that it plagues the black community as well, we have so many of us that are in, from a percentage perspective, in a lower socioeconomic standard. And if you look out to see who is the most alpha, it is the dudes who generally refer to their women in the way that Tupac was in that second clip of that video. So dudes who are not even about that life take on the qualities of dudes that are about that life in order to attract viscosity. So I think, like, to a degree, I hear what he's saying, but I think that there's a higher level message within that, as he started to allude to as the end of that. And I wish Tupac was still alive, because I would love to hear the way that he thinks about this now. I want to say he died at about 25, 26 years old. He might have been even younger than that, actually. So, but to hear a 45-year-old Tupac, right, and to even have him react to a video like this of him being blue pill and young and then older and kind of rough around the edges to what he then developed at in his manhood later on. I mean, shit, look how Snoop Dogg developed. Look how all of these different Ice Cube, look how all of these rappers developed from what they were to who they are today. So to conclude, men want this information and they enact these strategies because of you. You. We are reacting off of the stimulus. We are reacting off of what we see in the environment. That's what logical creatures do. We adapt to our situations. Guess what? We have to adapt to the year 2021. All right? That has been my video. That has been my reaction. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up. I got an Instagram as well. Link down in the description box down below. And I have a Patreon as well. We just did a 2.5 hours about goal setting in 2021 during the group chat down in there. I'm telling you, we're 400 strong up there right now. The content on the Patreon is a lot different to a degree than the content on my YouTube channel. The content on my Patreon is about developing yourself, being the best man that you can possibly be. But we also have accommodations for women as well that are trying to be the best woman that they can possibly be. You understand what I'm saying? Any questions? Hit me up. You got all my contact information. Until next time, YouTube. Peace!